Okay, in our previous videos, we created a site model and with some masses for buildings and stuff. Now I'm going to show you how to set up some different views. The first view I'm going to have you set up is going to be an area plan. It's pretty easy. Uh, so I'm going to go in and copy the site plan here. There's a site no image. If I want to keep the image, don't use the one that don't use the site view that I turn the image off on. Uh, Use the other one. So I'm going to duplicate this, and as you can see, and when you duplicate it, make sure you duplicate it with detailing. Detailing keeps all your references and all your annotations and stuff like that. In this case, I won't get the image if I don't do it with detailing because that's a referenced image. And then, so you see, I've got the image there. And then let's just rename that real quick. Um, and you'll see I already created one called P area plan. So I'm going to pretend that I'm, P area plan. Okay. And there's a couple of things I want to do. First, get rid of any elements, turn on anything that is not turned on, and get rid of any elements that I don't want to use. And then the very first thing is I would like this oriented to true north. So I'm going to do this to true north. Getting it square, you can rotate it a little bit when you put it into a sheet. So we'll probably rotate the view in the sheet to get it if I want this to be actual vertically. So the first thing I said, it was turn on things that I want to be seen. Uh, well, first of all, let's talk about this. You can see this image here, and then you can see the lines. Okay, that's if this is set into wireframe. Okay, so you can see all the topo lines and the street lines and all that. Only if this is set to hidden line. The moment you do it to shaded, it's going to cover up the image. Okay, so if you want the image, you're going to have to keep this in wireframe. Okay. Um, so, and there's no way to add a material that I have found. There's some plugins that you can buy and stuff to do it, but I haven't found any way to do it in Revit itself, either online or figured it out myself. Um, so that's one thing about that. Now, things that aren't turned on that I want turned on, for instance, I probably want make sure that masses are turned on because I've got a lot of masses in there. Topography's turned on, all that other stuff. I don't think I'm going to use any of that. So if something that you've drawn doesn't appear, the first thing to do is check and see whether or not in this view it's been turned off. I may not want, for instance, now other annotations there. For instance, let's look at, well, uh, I'm going to go into shaded mode. Okay, either hidden line or shaded mode because I'm not going to use that image. I can, once again, uh, select the image and hide it, right? So I can go in, hide the view, hide the element, and I can come back and turn it back on if I want to. You see I have a series of elevation tags. Well, I don't want those to show up in my image. So I'm going to select that elevation tag and then I'm going to hide in view and I'm going to hide all of them by category. So that'll everything that's named elevation tag will be hidden. Okay. So now all the elevation tags are hidden, which are great. If I want to get rid of these uh, project markers and stuff, okay, um, then I can also hide them, okay, hide in view and get rid of them. I'll just go ahead and hide them just for the sake of, okay. And then, so if there's anything else, for instance, maybe I don't want this section to show. Maybe I only have I have another section that I want the section line to show, but I don't want that one to show, so I could turn that or hide that. So I would clean it up, turn on everything that you want to be seen, turn off or hide everything you don't want to be seen. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is annotate this. So you're going to go into annotations, and then you can add text. Okay. Remember, you're at scale. If you add text in the view, then every time you change the scale, the text will remain whatever dimension. If it's 330 seconds, it will remain 330 seconds, no matter what scale it's at. It will adjust itself. So if I, wanted this as building concept, okay. Now remember that this is at 1 to 20 right now, okay. If I change it to 1 to 50, for instance, okay, then of course the text got bigger, okay, because it wanted to keep it, it keeps it at 1/4 inch. So that's how big it would have to be at 1/4 inch. And so I'd come in and label a few things. Um, Another thing that you might want to do is label the contour lines here. And so what you're going to do is go into massing in site, uh, label contours, uh, and that's 1/16 of an inch tall. Uh, and then you just draw a line across the contours where you want the label to be, and it's going to label it. Okay. There are a variety of different ways you can look it up to modify and change the appearance of these labels. I'm just not going to take the time to do it, to go into, I could spend another 10 minutes just telling you how to change that. Um, you know, change the background so that it was brown or transparent. Uh, we can go to hidden line, and it'll probably look a little bit better because everything will be black and white. Uh, but we won't see the roads and stuff like that as good. Okay, so but you can see topo's line. And if I didn't want every line topoed like that, now there's other ways to go back in. Maybe that's too many lines per topo. You can go back in here. Yeah, it's here, site settings. You'll see this is the start and stop of the contour line. Start at 00, end at 1000, and then you can set that for. Now I may want this to go beyond 00. Let's go minus 100 feet. And then let's make the increment every 10 feet. Apply, okay. And so now you'll see that these are at 10 feet. So everything's at 10 feet. There's 0 because that's, and I can change that. You have to use the project and the site survey to do that, okay. Um, so right now this is set to 0. Um, so once you have your site plan done, I mean the area plan, then we can focus in on the site plan. Uh, and all I will do there is probably copy this. So this is P area plan that I've been working on, right? P dash area plan without a space. Okay, I'm going to delete this one. Well, I'll just keep this one and I'll rename it site plan. Let's see here. Well, I may not want to do that. Okay. And the reason is because I may want to keep all my annotations that I've already done here. If I do, then I need to copy this. So I'm going to duplicate it, uh, duplicate the view with detailing, okay, and then rename, and I'll call this site plan. Site plan. Okay, and I'm going to delete that other one, this one here. And so now I've got a site plan, but what I'm going to do is crop that in. Okay, so I'm going to use the crop here. This is and I'm going to come in here and say, well, I don't need that. I really don't need, I want that to right about there. I want that to right about there. I'll keep these two streets, and then I'll bring this down, whatever, maybe even right to there. And then I'm going to change this scale to say, I don't know, 1/16 inch or 110 or 120 or something. Uh, and of course, it's going to zoom in here. Okay. Once again, I can turn off things if I don't want them to show, you know, and add. Another thing we can do is add in annotations. There are regions. There's a mask region, creates a, as you see here, uh, creates a graphic that obscures elements in the project family. This is probably not really that useful for this particular condition, but the field regions are. For instance, if I want to, say I wanted to fill this region with cross hatching, okay? Uh, and we'll just use double cross hatching right here since it's up. And we go in, and so I could say, okay, here, 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 and now hatch this. Boom. Uh, so now this is cross-hatched. Okay. If I don't like the scale of that cross-hatching, I would have to edit the type. Yeah. I could go in here, edit this type, change the scale of it, change colors. There's a whole range of things I could do here. And change the line weight and a type. Let's go 9 or something. We'll make it apply. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's a heavier line weight there. So I can play with line weights, and you can do the same thing with a lot of different lines, like the property line. If you want to up that, uh, add labels, and then I could go add labels right here. Probably want it larger than that. I can go back in there and edit the size. Uh, Labels. Let's do a contour here. We'll edit the type. We'll duplicate it. We'll say, okay, we're going to do 1/8 inch lettering instead of 16. And then we can come in here and say this is 16, or this is 1/8 inch now. Say okay. We can change the format of the units. There's just a whole plethora of things that we can do here. And then we're going to go back into massing and label. And then to label it, we draw a line across those things. Yeah, there you go. And so it added uh, every, 10 feet there, 20 feet there, so forth. Um, and we could even change this so if we wanted more contours in this view, okay, and it wouldn't change the other view. For instance, I can go in here and select massing, uh, site, and change the increment to 5 feet now, and apply, and go okay. And now, because I drew that line where I did, these are 5-foot increments. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of things you can do. And of course, we can always export this out to Illustrator and do all kinds of things in Illustrator. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Probably spent too much